You ever wonder what the real difference is between a marketing campaign that goes viral in a good way and one that becomes a multi-million-dollar disaster? Believe it or not, sometimes it's just one word. And today, we're going to dive into the three critical factors that really separate marketing genius from total failure.
So take a look at this. Every car has a high-quality corpse. Sounds like a tagline for a horror movie, right? Well, it's not. This was a real ad campaign from Ford over in Belgium. See, they were trying to translate their American slogan, which was every car has a high-quality body. As you can tell, something got seriously lost in translation. And yeah, the campaign was a total disaster. People were horrified. Ford had to pull the ads and millions of dollars just poof, gone. But this isn't just some funny mistake. It's the perfect cautionary tale from the high-stakes world of marketing where just one wrong move can be absolutely catastrophic. Which really brings us to our big question. What is the secret sauce here? What separates the brands that win from the ones that just crash and burn? It's not just about having a great product. As we're about to see, the difference is all in the execution. Okay, so we can break the answer down into these three crucial pillars, what I like to call the three T's. First, you've got your team. Second, your tools. And third, and maybe most importantly, your tone. If you can get these three things right, you're pretty much set up for success. But get just one of them wrong, and you might end up with a high-quality corpse of your own. All right, let's start with that first T, your team. You know, a ton of marketing efforts fail before they even get off the ground. Why? Well, a lot of the time, it's because the team itself is built on a totally outdated model. The old way is dead. Today, it is all about being agile. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The traditional model? It's the slow, bureaucratic machine, totally stuck in endless planning meetings. But the modern model? It's a collection of these small, agile squads. Think of them like little movie crews that can test, learn, and adapt every single week. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The market moves way too fast for those old, clunky structures. If your team can't pivot on a dime, you're literally bringing a typewriter to a coding hackathon. You're set up to fail before you even begin. Now, this shift isn't just happening on the ground floor. It's totally reshaping leadership. The old school CMO who just lives in spreadsheets, they're gone. Today's leader is what you'd call a designer builder. They're part brand strategist, part creative director, part ops guru, and they use AI as a massive force multiplier to do things like generate copy variations or forecast campaign results in minutes, not weeks. And the impact of this is just staggering. With the right AI tools in their belt, one strategic leader with a small, specialized team can now deliver the results of what used to take a traditional 15-person department. It's all about working smarter, not just bigger. Okay, so you've got your agile team, but how do they actually work smarter? Well, that brings us to our second T, tools. Agile teams don't run on gut feelings. Nope, they make decisions based on data. And while their toolkit has a bunch of things like heat maps and analytics, their most powerful weapon is systematic testing. At the very heart of this data-driven approach is something called A/B testing. It's a really simple but profound idea. You show one version of an ad or a web page to one group of people and a second version to another group. Then, you just let the data tell you which one works better. It's the ultimate way to end arguments and just completely eliminate guesswork. So why go through all this trouble? Because it lets you solve real problems for your customers. It helps you get way more value from the website traffic you already have without spending another dime on ads. And, most importantly, it replaces "I think this will work" with "I know this works." And the process itself is this really powerful cycle. You start with research to understand how people are behaving, you form a hypothesis about how to make things better, you test your new version, and then you analyze the data. This isn't a one-time thing. It's a continuous loop of learning and tweaking that just keeps improving your results, turning these little wins into major gains over time. So, you have an agile team, you've got data-driven tools, you're all set, right? Well, not quite. Our third T, tone, is where things can go spectacularly, epically wrong. Because even the best team with the best tools can fail if the message itself is a total disaster. So let's look at a classic example of getting the tone catastrophically wrong. Back in the 1980s, KFC decided to expand into China. And they brought their world-famous, beloved slogan with them. Seemed like a slam dunk right. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Well, as it turns out, a lot.
A simple little translation mistake turned their friendly, famous slogan into something absolutely horrifying. Finger licking good somehow became eat your fingers off. Not exactly the appetizing invitation they were going for. The reaction was, as you can imagine, swift and negative. The public was confused and, frankly, creeped out. KFC had to scrap the entire campaign, a mistake that cost them millions. The lesson here was brutal but simple. Trying to save a few bucks on professional translation can end up costing you a fortune in cultural ignorance. All right, now for a more recent example that shows these mistakes aren't just about language. Back in 2017, Pepsi launched this massive ad campaign starring supermodel Kendall Jenner. The whole goal was to promote a message of unity. So the ad showed Kendall Jenner leaving a photo shoot to join a protest. She then magically diffuses all the tension by handing a police officer a can of Pepsi. The officer smiles, the crowd cheers, and harmony is achieved. At least that was the idea. The actual reaction was immediate and overwhelmingly negative. The ad was just slammed everywhere for being completely tone-deaf, with critics accusing Pepsi of trivializing very serious social movements just to sell soda. The public backlash was so intense that Pepsi pulled the ad in less than 24 hours and issued a formal apology. It became a textbook example of what happens when a brand totally misjudges the cultural tone. Complete disaster. Okay, let's bring this all together. We've seen just how crucial the right team, the right tools, and the right tone are. But the real key to success isn't just having them, it's making them all work together in perfect harmony. This right here, this is the formula for modern marketing. You need a fast, agile team. That team needs to be empowered with data-driven tools to make smart decisions. And all of their work, all of it, has to be guided by an empathetic, culturally aware tone that actually connects with your audience. And this all brings us to one last provocative thought. If your marketing strategy still looks like it did 5 years ago, you're not keeping it classic, you're driving a horse and buggy on a freeway. So the real question you have to ask is, are you built for the modern road, or are you about to get left behind? Because the future isn't coming, it's already here. And in the crazy, fast-paced world of modern marketing, it waits for absolutely no one. Thanks for tuning in.